Tonight, my guests are Eddie Izzard and Terry Gilliam.
Do you think it's weird that we're talking and nobody else is?
Maybe that's a clue.
That it's my show?
Yeah.
That's the only clue. And they're looking this way. There's just a couple of little things. And also that I have the most food.
We need the bartender from The Shining to stand behind there. You know the guy in The Shining?
Yeah. With that
he should
nice
be standing
uplighting.
right behind there with the uplighting and saying...
That's another show.
Mr.
When you
Jagger.
get your show, you do that, okay?
Okay.
But this is my show. There is no one behind the bar, and there is no one exists, but, you know.
And there's no...
So who's going to eat? Are you going to eat?
I'm going to eat,
I just
sure.
eaten some.
Hey,
Are
I'm
these
going to
cooked?
commit.
Only chicken legs.
I
You've
have-
got 2 chicken
Well,
legs.
do you want a
No,
chi-
I wanted a chicken breast. I don't like legs.
End of show. There's always someone. You know what I mean? I've got
They
about
asked me as I
200
walked
pounds
in what
worth
I
of
wanted
food.
to eat.
Right.
I said kosher. And they said, what? Kosher.
Why would you be kosher?
Why can't I be?
You can't
Just
at
because
this
I was...
stage. You're not of the people.
Just
they
because-
don't want you.
I want to know what kosher food really is.
Okay.
I think I can explain it on behalf of the
Yeah,
Jewish
on your
race.
people, on your people.
I think it means that a rabbi comes and sucks all the blood out of it. Don't quote me on it, doesn't it? And then he blesses it.
So animals are killed in a funny way?
But in a loving way.
Loving way?
The rabbi sings a lovely song.
Is this true?
Dreidel, dreidel, dreidel. He
Yeah.
sings a song to it. Then I think they suck the blood out, because I don't think Jews believe in drinking the blood of anything, do they? Unless it's a special occasion. And then it's dietetic. It's always sugar-free. Did that clear it up for you?
Yeah, so they suck the blood out of really nice animals, and then...
Not nice ones, you know.
He
Dead
sucks the
ones.
blood out.
The rabbi doesn't himself. He has an assistant.
Does he actually press his lips to the flesh of the animal? Or does he rely on the siphon technique?
You know, I used to get requests from the Jewish Chronicle, could they interview me, you know, because they embraced me as like one of their heroes. And now I can just see them chip-etching my name out of the whole Jewish, we don't want her at the charities, we don't want to know about her. Did you work at a
Jews
Jewish
at the
camp?
table.
I did. All the kids were from
Rich.
Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Danny Kaye's daughter, Hedy Lamar's
Oh, my
son.
God.
William Wyler's son was in my camp.
Any of them not screwed up?
No.
All of them screwed up.
No, it was extraordinary. They were really, they were sad kids. But we had them for 8 weeks. We could whip them into shape. You know, us, the few goyim.
You mean literally whip?
Yeah. No, it was amazing because these kids were pampered by nannies. They probably never saw their famous parents.
So, how did you whip the Jews into shape? The Jewish campers?
We taught them what pain really was all about. And we did it in a loving way. You know, the way, because you're not supposed to smack kids now, isn't it? This is the great thing about England now.
Could you smack them in the good old days?
No, we didn't smack them. What we did, we sit the kids down. These are 11-year-old kids. There's about a dozen of them. This is in my cabin, my little cabin. And we would sit
Terry's
them down.
cabin.
Terry's cabin. We'd sit them and say, here's rules to live by. Let's all talk about them. Let's agree on what's a decent way to live for the next few weeks. And they would agree and say, okay, now we've got the rules. And every day when they violated a rule, we would mark it down. At the end of the day, we did this little thing where you twist the arm. Just not this is not tight. This is like a massage.
Like a hickey to the wrist.
It was. You twist it, and the tricep pops out. And just a little thing there. You go. It's a sweet little tab. You don't have to hit hard. And boy, does that sting. And you do at the end of the. Now, what was interesting about watching these
That
kids?
seems quite...
It seems cruel, but it isn't. It's a thing
seems
we
more
do.
scientific.
But we tried to take all the venom out of it. All the so it wasn't done in anger.
What did you do as a
I
child?
was a scout.
A Boy Scout? Did
Oh,
you get
sorry.
awards for things?
I was a blue one. What? I got all the badges up the arms. And,
Like
and
for what?
couldn't move.
Like, come on,
make
show
eagle?
off.
Oh,
Go
make
for it
eagle.
now.
building
Come on.
rockets.
Does make eagle or life or what?
Make eagle. No, we don't have that. We have Chief Scouts. I was a Chief Scout.
You mean you could find cheese
with
in a
Baden
forest?
Powell?
I could start in my own country.
Did you sleep in tents and things?
Yeah, we slept in tents, cooked food, went down potholes, down water potholes where there's a huge 100-foot, waterfall that you'd climb down, canoed down rapids, climb mountains.
Did you like doing that guy stuff?
Suck the blood out of pigs. What?
Did you like doing that guy stuff?
Yeah, because I'm an
I mean, are
action
you a-
transvestite. I'm
What?
an action transvestite.
What, you rip your lumberjack off and underneath is a
I'm a male
brassiere?
Emma Peel.
That's interesting. That's
What
a
Emma
good thing
Peel-
for you to maybe think about.
Diana Rigg, what she stole from the boys with that sort of kick-ass action, that I'm a male version of that, stealing it back. No, but I liked all that, running, jumping, climbing trees. I was really into it. I still am, but I just don't do it.
We used to tell ghost stories. That was the great
Oh,
thing
yeah,
about
ghost
the campfire.
stories.
At night, you'd be dragged up to the mountains, you'd sit there, and then these men who I didn't question for a moment their manhood would tell us stories and frighten us. And it was wonderful. It was being scared.
You mean he scares you now? Like, because you assume
No, action transvestism is a very different thing than what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's just storytelling.
Didn't you want to be scared out of your mind? I mean, that's what every kid wants.
That's the great joy.
Yeah.
But people really now seem to be frightened of fear or being scared. They're different things. I mean, I remember, this is leaping a bit, we had a screening at the ICA for children of Baron Munchausen, and this woman afterwards came up and attacked me for frightening her child because of the angel of death. I said, that's what we do. That's what fairy tales were about. That's what stories were always about, frightening people, and you survive them. That's what's, as a kid, years ago, I picked up a book in the house of Little Red Riding Hood that was there for my daughter. And it was horrendous because nothing happened in it. I mean, the wolf didn't really eat Granny. The woodsman didn't come and kill the wolf.
What story was this?
Little Red Riding Hood. Where it was done so that there was no fear, there was no frighteningness, it was reassuring. And the point of all the fairy tales...
You mean a feel-good story?
Yeah, all through it. But the point of a fairy tale is you're taken down paths, and which are frightening, terrifying, scary, unknown, and you survive, and somehow you get through it. And so it kind of builds up your little muscles for real life.
Yeah, your adrenal.
But this woman was going on at me because I frightened her child. She said, yes, that's exactly what I was trying to do. But, you know, it ends happily. I met a kid, a woman at Eric Idle's house, if I can drop a really important name.
We'll all drop names as the dinner goes on.
I've met him. I've worked with him. He's a lovely man.
I've seen him on television.
Yeah, I just heard him on the radio on the way in here.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, at Eric's house, there was a woman, a German woman, who was protecting her child from all forms of any disturbing thought, all forms of fear.
Is this in L.A.?
Yeah, in L.A.
Yeah.
And I said, you're destroying that child's life because, you know, in 10 years she's going to go out and there's going to be a world there that's going to attack her, do things to her, frighten her, and she's not going to be prepared because the world she's been living in is this amniotic sac that's been
Did the woman understand anything you were talking about?
No, she wanted to kill me because of the things I was, in the way, threatening her daughter.
Well, you know, Americans, sorry to go heavy here, but that's the whole American disease now, is that they're so afraid of the dark side.
Afraid of Star Wars?
It is dark. I mean, you know what I mean? It is the darkest nation of them all at this moment, but everybody wants to feel good. They're in full, that's
denial.
exactly it, full denial of that. Whereas I was brought up Austrian, and our fairy tales were Struwwelpeter and Max and Moritz, where, seriously, it never had a happy ending. You just see Max and Moritz, who were these kind of children with, like, a stomach illness, because they were distended, and the mother, to teach them a lesson not to eat the cookies, chopped the fingers off to the picture of them with all the blood running down. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And then they'd be sent to the forest, and a fox with warts would eat them, and they'd have to carve open its stomach, and they'd come out and going, "Thank you, Grandmama." You know, it was like grotesque.
But
and my mother would read it with joy.
Well-balanced people
And
now.
look at me now.
Yeah. Sorry. Did you see Shock-Headed Peter?
That's Struwwelpeter.
Struwwelpeter.
Yeah.
Did you see it? It was quite
It's all
wondrous.
stories about a child that says you shouldn't play with matches, and the next thing is her hair's on fire, and these are the pictures in the children's book.
Yeah.
That's in the children's book.
That's great.
Love this.
They're
You
great
would-
drawing. Struwwelpeter, long fingernails, because he's been stuck under the floorboards
He's an
by his
early
parents.
prototype for Hitler.
Yeah.
You had a really well-adjusted life, you know what I mean?
It's a true American childhood in the country. You know, Tom Sawyer, Huck Finn stuff. And it was just nice. That's all. And we built things and made things, tree houses. In the winter, it was 40 degrees below zero, and we didn't have an indoor toilet, and you'd have to go out of the house, down the...
Were you poor?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, and we go to the Biffy, which was, we had a two-holer. It was just a little wooden shed with two holes. And
Like for the other family members to perch next to you?
No, but just, I don't know, I suppose for
Like
diarrhea. Diarrhea when you're really out of control.
And you're vomiting at the same time.
Yeah,
for you viewers who are confused.
I guess, I don't know, or maybe parts of my family had different orifices than I had.
You only need one at a time, in Chicago.
Maybe it was a colostomy problem there, and they didn't have the bags, so, you know, so...
Plug them in.
Yeah, you can do both.
Be me and Scotty.
You can sit and empty over there at the
Okay.
So we had that. But 40 degrees below zero, rushing out in your little bathrobe, your little frayed slippers, to have a dump, as we said.
In Minneapolis.
In the Giffy.
The Biffy.
Biffy.
Biffy. And I don't know where that comes from.
Yeah, I was just thinking how people come up with different
Charles
words.
Bifford, I think you'll find in
That could be,
Minneapolis,
yeah,
invented
yeah,
the
yeah,
two-holer.
Yeah.
See, when you got to research these shows.
Well,
You don't just show
Donald
up.
Crapper did well, didn't he?
No, Crapper was not the first one to do a flushing